Yeah. And yeah, that was a really, really, actually pretty creepy investigation. I mean, and the people, the townspeople, didn't even want to talk to us. They were kind of shunning us away. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. Tell us about Truckee.
Well, Truckee, as you know, I mean, every place has its own history, and one of the things that I think is most substantial is that because I have worked for the Historical Society, um, my ideas don't always like dovetail or sync with the highly privileged white folks that live here, and they want no shade to anybody, but they have, a significant history that substantiates like making money for the town, and that's not always what I pick up on. It That's not my experience. So, I mean, I think about, like the Donner Party or whatever. When I have gone out there with just different television shows, that's not what I pick up, and so a lot of times I get kind of edited. Yeah. Um, but I think the experience that you and I had in Truckee at the hotel was the Charlie Chaplin room. Remember that? We got all kind of crazy stuff, and we had voices that responded to us, and I was familiar enough with um, digital recording, like these Olympus recorders that I don't think they had the um, multi-directional recordings, but we got hard and fast facts, like according to Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, and I mean, do you remember? You probably have a billion experiences under your belt, but what I remember is that we had specific questions that got answered, and at that time, I think I was especially skeptical.
What? Okay, this is okay. What I remember about Truckee, we had that. The dogs are in the background playing. But anyway, when we got to Truckee, something I think it was like almost 30 people signed up to go on this Truckee expedition. Zandy and you would have fun. But anyway, as we got to Truckee, we went to this one hotel that was really haunted.
Truckee Hotel.
Yeah, the Truckee Hotel. And this guy who was a cowboy, he goes, I just don't believe in ghosts. I just come here to watch you guys do what you do. He goes, but I don't believe in no ghosts. So anyway, I said, fine, And we went into this one room that's supposed to be really, really haunted. And so I did an EVP session. I said, is there anyone here? Mind you, Zandy, there was like 15 people outside of this room and inside this room being very quiet. And I get an answer back. And the entity says something crazy. He says something like, well, I'm going to whoop your ass or something like that. And he's talking to the guy who stays in that room, which is the cowboy dude. So, like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm seeing the cowboy dude walking up and down the hallway. And I said, hey, well, how come you're not in bed asleep? And he goes, I can't go in that room. It's haunted. And now he's a believer. Yeah. But anyway, as we're doing our little expedition and everything, and I think we're walking up towards the cemetery, a very tragic thing happened.
Yeah.
This guy brought his dog with us. He's a former police officer. And as we were walking, his dog fell over a cliff
in the canal.
into the canal. hard cement.
But you know what? That is the pathway of the old historical Trout Creek. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but
That was sad. I mean, I had no clue that I was walking into a death trap for a dog. You know, I mean, even us, if you don't see it, we could have fell into the canal, and they didn't even warn us or tell us anything about it.
and we went up to the old cemetery. Remember the Catholic?
I
Pioneer
almost stopped.
cemetery?
I almost stopped the whole thing because of the dog thing, but the guy who owned the dog, he was taking it to the vet, you know, an emergency thing. He says, "No, Paul." He says, "These people paid for it. Continue on." I said, "All right."
Right.
Yeah. But that was sad.
I had some amazing photographs that, as a skeptic myself, not that I'm skeptical about the spiritual world. I'm not. I'm so on par with that. But sometimes when we used to go out, if we go back 20 years, people are like really like revved up to get like evidence, and for me that's subjective, right? Like some people might be super fanatic about they're gonna get something specific, and when we went up to the cemetery, Julie Limos, is that right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So this is so far back. She was taking photographs, and I think we just had like those little digital cams back in those days. And I was not a big believer in like orb activity unless we could substantiate it. And we had like great zigzag crazy things coming out of the top of tombstones. That was the thing that, besides the voices that we recorded, um, these big zigzags coming out of the top of tombstones at the old Catholic cemetery. And I mean, I don't have those experiences so much anymore. To me now, it is incumbent upon me to look at my personal spiritual development, to free up all of the elemental beings that are under dominance, let's say, from, I think a lot of people talk about demons now. Is that a thing?
And that sounds like Ghost Adventures. I mean, everything is a demon with them.
But to me, all of us are responsible. Me personally, I'm responsible to keep my side of the street clean, and if I don't have the values and ethics of being free of fear, I don't mean being cautious. I mean, there are a lot of frightened people that I have worked with over the years that I think that they're bringing certain elements into their own environment. And I think making sure that folks that call me up are feeling empowered and not fearful. That's my most recent and most important task. I mean, I don't think healthy fear is bad, but I think that we have a lot of reactivity in the world. We have a lot of division in the world, and that makes me think about how I can best serve the folks that come to me. So I only have a little small handful of folks that I still do readings for, and a small handful of folks that I do physical bodily cleansing for. But we are so divided now. That makes me nervous.
And where do you think paranormal is headed for? I mean, At one time, you could turn on the Travel Channel and you had all these different paranormal shows. Now they're all gone except for one. So
I know.
what is happening? Was it just a trending thing, or is it
Yes.
people just not interested anymore?
Well, I think it was trending, but it was because people were opening up spiritually and they're looking for a path forward. Let's just say that. They're looking for, I don't like to use like very hardcore terms like moralistic or value based or, ethics based, but I think it really makes a difference. So for me, I've always been very sensitive to spirits of the past. So
And
whether they're my ancestors or whether they are other people that like they call me up and they say, "This is what's happening in my space." I think my job is to inform them in such a way that they can make decisions on their own because each of us has spiritual equanimity and spiritual balance, but I think that's hard these days, right? Because we're so divided. I don't want to get into politics, but that makes us reactive.
Stephanie, also too, when I started HPI, Haunted Paranormal Investigations, um, my telephone, the paranormal hotline, was ringing off the hook. We had investigations. We could almost have an investigation every night. That was how many times people were calling me.
Right.
And now, no phone calls.
Quiet.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
I think people are very fearful,
Yeah.
but Zanzine, can I hear from you? I want to hear what you have to say. I'm just feeling compelled.
No, I think that with quantum computers, not just AI, but with quantum, in every field that's coming up, that it can, everything is so expanded. People are getting information so fast that like the average ghost or haunting movie doesn't even scare you anymore. I mean, people are just, I wouldn't even say it's beyond desensitized. I think it's like when you start talking about aliens, demons, most people they're calling aliens demons and demons aliens. So that thing is
They
kind
are
of like,
worried. They're just scared all the time.
so
What do you think?
yeah. I know some people. I'm probably am desensitized to, it, but I know people are. Um, it seems like they're questioning like a bigger question. Like, not does this exist now? Like, why aren't we told about more about it? So it's like we're deeper into the cycle than say when I was a kid. People might have saw The Exorcist or Abby or Close Encounters might be been one of the more intriguing movies. So now, I mean, with effects and CGI and stuff that they can do like right in the open space, magicians, illusionists, it's just it takes a lot more to I think move people's needle. Also, I was gonna ask you, when you get in trouble or spiritually, what scared you? And if you get in trouble, who do you reach out for? Who do you pray to when you have, say, maybe you're going through things in life that are bothering you, or when you get supernaturally scared?
I mean, this might even be controversial for some people, but so when people talk about Christ, I think they have only a one-way, narrow tunnel vision, and I was raised in a multi-denominational background.
Okay.
So when I say a Christed energy, I'm not talking about
reach out to any.
No, I do have like experiences, but I think my experiences are kind of all over the map, and I'm not just trying to cover my ass. What I'm saying is, this Christed or highly elevated energy, like what I say is it's right here. It's my heart.
Okay.
And check this out.